They tryna turn Trenton into Baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. Then go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no gang. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a way down a rape, bro. Isn't our genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. I do. I go.
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Peace, peace, peace.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I think Dean's having some technical difficulty. We'll do his welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, family. Welcome back. Peace and blessings, everybody. Welcome back to New Freedom Exchange. Your station, your platform for social dignity and community empowerment. Your source for that. I am your host, Imam Bilal Hassan, with
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marsha.
Yes. We're happy to be here with you all, checking in this evening on this Tuesday night. We're thankful to the Creator to have a chance to be here with you all. And as always, we always ask that if you guys can tap in where you are, let us know where you're tuned in from. We would appreciate it. We'll highlight you and shout you out. And as always, how are you, Sister Marsha?
I'm doing well. This week is going pretty smoothly. Alhamdulillah. My weekend was like jam-packed, so it's nice to kind of just take a breather from that. I mean, work has been pretty smooth thus far. This week is a 4-day week, so alhamdulillah for that 4-day work week. We are off on Friday. I am happy for that. But other than that, everything's going pretty well. Everything's been pretty smooth. My girls are good. As a matter of fact, my daughter, I didn't get to catch it because I was trying to catch it while I was at work, but she participated in a open mic. So she did a piece. Yeah, she did a piece today. So what my middle daughter taped it. So it was my oldest daughter who did the open mic. So my middle daughter recorded it. So I'm gonna watch it when we are done with the show, so I get to see it. But everybody's over here thriving, so alhamdulillah. How about you? How's everything going for you, B?
Good. Everybody can't complain, alhamdulillah. Just taking it easy one step at a time. Get ready for Ramadan.
Yeah.
Ramadan's right around the corner, and inshallah we all get to see it. So just trying to make sure you get mentally prepared, spiritually prepared for it. It will be a serious time for a study. For me, and a lot more introspective work to be done, like we discussed Sunday. about introspective work on the self during this time as well, and community
Right.
as well. So I will be taking the time out to do that more intensively, as much as I can, more extensively, within the next, inshallah, the 29, 30 days that we have in Ramadan. So other than that, work is good. I also have off because of the spring break / observances that there are this week, for those who observe their observances. So we'll give you a chance to also just get some other work done that I kind of fell behind on. So yeah, so everything else is good. Alhamdulillah, everyone is well. Hope you are well as well. We got a couple people tuned in the queue. So, wa alaikum salam, Sister Marsha.
Yes, that's my sister. Walaikum assalam, Sultana.
Marsha's service live from.
And actually, she was hosting Preacher Moss's show earlier.
Yes.
So
Yes.
congratulations on that. She did a wonderful job. So shout out to her for that.
Yes.
I see we got Sister Katara too. Yeah, Sister Katara out of Maryland. That's also one of my sisters. I'm blowing kisses to her. And it's funny because she emailed me earlier with a reminder about this show from Sister Fitra, and I was like, sis, I host that show. She was like, oh, alhamdulillah. So I'm glad to see that she is tuning in.
Yes, we're very grateful for that. Shout out to Preacher Moss. Actually, I think he's defending his thesis.
His thesis, yes.
Shout out to Preacher Moss. It will be Dr.
Absolutely.
Dr. Preacher Moss, and we'll be calling.
Yes.
Shout out to Preacher. We are very grateful for for all the people that we have had on the show, and grateful for the people in the community that we have had on the show so far. And with that being said, I want to transition to our special guest that we have for tonight.
Okay.
Very dynamic sister that we have. In fact, Sister Fitra is here. Study Al Islam producers in the building. So shout out to
Absolutely. Assalamu alaikum, sister. Yes.
So of course, Sister Fitra is here. So yeah, we have a dynamic show tonight with a dynamic special guest. And it's an honor of us to even have her on this platform to grace us with her skill, her talents, her abilities, and just her story. And I'm very excited, look forward to hearing from her story. And we have an honor rather to read her bio. It's very extensive, but we'll get through it, inshallah, step by step. Naimah is a SESAC. She don't have to tell me what that is. Tell us what that is. Affiliated singer and songwriter blending pop, R&B, folk, and soul. While being recognized as an emerging artist by Billboard, in 2013, following the release of her first single, Wolf and I, Naimah was collaborating with two-time Grammy-nominated American music producer, musician, and songwriter Travis Cherry in Atlanta, recording at Quad Studios in New York City, the historic Quad Studios. For those who know about hip-hop, Quad Studios is historic as well. She is currently...
So that wait. That means she's serious, y'all. So get ready.
It's very serious. Very serious. She is currently songwriting and recording in LA with two-time Grammy and 7-time American Music Award winners, Kool and the Gang.
Okay.
So that's big. And working with developing artists and songwriters, Naimah has had placements in independent films, including her song Lava, co-written and performed by Danny Baylor, which was a winner in the international songwriting competition. Naimah is an advocate for Muslims and actively uses her platform as a musician to bridge gaps and encourage understanding. For her community engagement work, she was invited to attend President Obama's iftar dinner at the White House in 2015.
Nice.
2016, she performed the Muslim American March on Washington and brought together Muslim and non-Muslim audiences during her performance at Chicago's Taking It to the Streets Festival, headlined by Yunna, which is one of my other favorite songstresses and singers. And on March 23rd, 2018, she was the only performer featured at the National Cathedral during the March for Our Lives interfaith prayer vigil for thousands of activists, students, and pilgrims following the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida. She is a voting member of the Grammy Academy and a member of the Women in Music's DC chapter, where she sits on the events committee. Naimah is currently nominated for the Board of Advisors for the Environmental Film Festival in Washington, D.C. So we got to talk about that because the Eco Beloved, that is my other alias, which I go by, strong advocate for environmental justice and sustainability. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And Naimah is a graduate from the University of Southern California and is based in Los Angeles. So without no further ado, let us bring on our beloved Sister Naimah Muhammad.
I'm throwing my snaps up for you, sis. I'm throwing my snaps up for you. I saw you in the back, like trying to shy it out. I'm like, girl, you're gonna take all these accolades, girl.
Yeah, I was watching one of your videos, and I remember another speaker saying, wow, like hearing that bio back, alhamdulillah, but also, whoa, like you forget these things sometimes, and they're just happening so quickly. So alhamdulillah for the journey. And to be here today continuing. So thank you for having me. This is truly an honor. This means a lot in our community, and I love our voices, our shared voices, young voices. So I'm excited to be here.
No, we're excited to have you.
And absolutely.
As always, we like to our guests, we like to have them, give them a chance to actually introduce themselves. We read your bio, but obviously if people didn't know who Naimah Muhammad was, how would you introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, so I'm a singer-songwriter. I'd say alternative music because it really bridges everything. But at the end of the day, like the music I do and that I want to make is universal. And I always say like it's bigger than me. Like when I think about my favorite artists and songwriters, it's music that's transcended time, but also has captured like important moments in history and like been a voice for that time. And I want to be a part of that narrative and really making music that's meaningful, that is useful, and then at the end of the day is timeless. So that's my journey, inshallah. That's what I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I could tell. I could definitely tell.
But Sister Marsha, at some point, I need to know what your daughter did in the open mic, so I need to know a little bit more about it.
Oh, she did a poetry piece. I haven't even heard it, so I don't know. I'm going to listen. Maybe I'll look at the video. Maybe we'll put it on New Freedom Exchange because she actually did a piece before that we have on the page. So I'm gonna listen to what she did today and put it up maybe. So,
let her know. So I got started with songwriting because of poetry. And that was a really big part of like turning poems into songs and fusing the two together. So let her know to continue that for sure.
Absolutely. And that was actually going to be my first question, sort of like, well, how did you even start singing? Where did that come from for you?
Yeah. So I mean, as Muslims, we believe that, Allah has a plan for all of us that starts even before us. And it's really about tapping into those signs in the creation and yourselves and like being open to that revelation in your spirit. And so for me, like it starts before me with my mom. She tapped in Fitra Muhammad. She knew when I came onto this planet, like get this 4-year-old a guitar, get this young girl a notebook and a pen. Like she saw and felt something in her spirit that guided her to help guide my own. And so I started very young, being introduced to music and having an opportunity to write and like play songs around the house and kind of continuing this journey of writing every day, playing music every day, and then eventually realizing just the passion of storytelling and then putting those stories to music. So bridging, like I said, the poetry and this kind of the story narratives to what I was doing on the guitar and then creating that as songwriting and performing. So like I said, it came before me, and now my journey is to really continue to see that as my gift from God and like my own journey, and know that that is what I feel is in my spirit and what I'm meant for, and to continue that no matter what, how hard it might be at many times. But yeah, so that's how I got started. Yeah, that's how it all began.
And then I guess I have a follow-up question to that, because I'm curious to know, like, if in that journey, if there was ever this struggle of your gift versus you being a Muslim young girl and then obviously becoming a woman. Absolutely. Like, was there ever a struggle in that? Because sometimes as Muslims, right, especially as Muslim women, we sort of struggle with what our gift is and how it fits into the Deen, right? So I'm curious as to whether or not you went through that.
Absolutely. So professionally, I got started in 2013. Imam, Bilal, Hassan mentioned, with this release of the song and Billboard picking it up and everything that came from that newsworthiness of the song release. But it took about 3 years in that initial journey to understand Naimah as a musician and a songwriter, Naimah as a Muslim, and even Naimah as an African American doing music that kind of intersects pop and folk and alternative, which is a little bit different in itself. So it was definitely an initial struggle in terms of how, I was in these meetings and like seeing deals and people wanting me to put myself in a box. I'm in an industry that feeds off of extremism from one polar end to the other and really begs you to compromise yourself and your moderateness and just, your natural self. And there were several times that I had to pass up deals. I had to say no to opportunities. I had to cry about it later at home, but it just was like the right thing to do. And it was also challenging in that initial 3 years professionally back home. I'm a member of the Masjid Muhammad Nations Mosque in Washington, D.C. And I feel like I really could not have done it without the support of my community in uplifting my journey as a musician and recognizing the role of Muslims in music. And, if you're making good content, naturally, as a Muslim, as part of your spirit, like it's all part of our own form of communication at the end of the day. And if you're putting out that good content, that's positive content, meaningful content, like it's no different from other forms of expression at the end of the day. So because of that support, it really helped me own and hone in on my identification as a Muslim American artist. And so I say that all to say, like, around 2016, I really stepped into that belief of like, I want to use my platform to be a role model because I don't have anyone to look up to where I can identify, like, is this right? Like, can I do this? Is there a space for me? And I was like, I want to take that on to be a voice of encouragement for other Muslim women, but just also increasing the representation of Muslims in music. So it's still lots of struggles today of navigating, the lack of understanding of Muslims in America and, people that want to say Muslims haram and saying, well, let's talk about it a little bit further, having those conversations and dialogues, and just being a champion for the role of musicians and Muslims in pop culture. Yeah.
Great.
Excellent. So I wanted to go back just a tad bit to first start picking up the guitar. You first start going into the recording the instruments. Just your experience growing up as a child, being exposed to music at an early age. How was that like for you, for your family, and growing up as a child? Just can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was amazing. I will say that I think naturally I'm shy, which I mean, you might not get that from the way we're talking.
I was about to say, don't even try it. Like you came on the screen talking, sis. Okay, I'm not letting you get away with that.
In my spirit, I feel that I'm a bit shyer, and having the music as an expression and writing as an expression, like I needed that. I needed that opportunity to process things, voice what I was feeling, communicate different things that was going on in my life. So it was an outlet for that. But when it came to performing, it took a while for me to get comfortable as like the vessel of which that was going to come through, I really wanted other people to sing it and other people to do it. And it was really from being behind the scenes that I kind of got pushed and encouraged to be in front of the scenes. And I just have continued that today. But yeah, it was like a personal thing I used to do. I used to like retreat to my room, write some songs, share them sometimes, but it was really, really a personal processing experience for me.
Yeah, talk about the sharing too of like sharing your songs initially, because that's such a vulnerable thing.
Very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. And so I think also because I didn't have any role models and it didn't quite click for a while of whether it was okay for me to be an artist and be a musician. It was very like, this is for me, this is my form of expression at home. But as those layers of like outside external issues really kind of fell to the wayside, and with my mom and my community support, I just got out there more and more to take those baby steps, deal with all the butterflies, and just really let myself express the music and have that engagement. And because of that, like once you're in front of other people and you're sharing, you're both vulnerable, especially like Sister Marsha, like those open mic experiences, all that is so instrumental in gaining your confidence, but also knowing that like it becomes more and more in your spirit of like, this is more than me. This is like a service. This is used, like this is for someone else as well as it is for me. Like what I'm writing about could very well make a huge difference for someone else. And it's important to let that out and give that, you know? So that's all. Yep.
So what about I want to talk a little bit about college.
Sure.
I'm skipping around, but I guess we can skip a little bit about college and collegiate experience. Were you performing on campus like while studying, and what were you studying while in college as well?
Yeah, so I studied communication as a major and then songwriting as a minor. And because of that, yes, like I was required to create performances, market them, to go out there, participate in open mics around Los Angeles, and then kind of form student bands with other members in the program to perform. So between that college experience and also my high school experience, I'll say that that was like really instrumental again and gaining that sense of voice, but also just like experimenting creatively and getting things out there. So yeah, and USC was really helpful in having, alhamdulillah, like the facilities to actually have practice rooms and spaces that you can record and practice. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity that I could do that. But it did not prepare me for the business side of things.
Good segue. Very good segue. Very good segue. Because that's another thing that a lot of artists say that come on this platform. And of course, we know in the industry within the African American community, dating back to the 50s and onward, about artists not being prepared for the business side. They were so talented with the artistry, with the craft, but they had no lawyers. They knew nothing about law. They knew nothing about business, the business acumen. They knew nothing about that. You know, nowadays everything's about a 360 deal. You know, and these guys, young kids, boys and girls, are getting screwed left and right. They don't know if they're being screwed. They're being used. So for you, how was that adjustment coming out of the experience you had as a young girl, Muslim girl, growing up in the community, going through high school, going through college? Talk to us a little bit about the first experience you getting your feet wet, as they say, with the business acumen, the business side of music.
Yeah, and so the first experience was that song "Wolf and I," the first single that I released, like right in 2013, a few months after I had graduated. What I was unprepared for, and what I want to stress is, especially as an independent artist, like you are the one woman or one man or one family where my mom and I are concerned, like you're the team for everything. So you are creating the music, you are promoting the music, you are releasing the music, you're performing the music, you are sending emails and calls and trying to do everything to get the work out there at the end of the day. You're making your own website. In my case, I stayed up night after night creating a website and making, a campaign for myself, learning all these things that I had not touched or done ever before and didn't quite know I would need to do, but just jumped right in to do it. But I guess like all that, this is all if you want to keep part of the ownership for yourself. Like Imam,
Right.
Bilal, you said, like the 360 deals, they take away so much from an artist. And the more you can keep things in your bucket and the more you can offer to show your value in that work, the more you can keep your ownership, which is important at the end of the day. So I spent all that time kind of learning with a really quick learning curve. And honestly, at the end of the day, after that song release, I was still unprepared. And I say that now because I'm going to share a different story for the present. So at that time, I had this one song to release, alhamdulillah. It did great things. It allowed me to perform, gave me streams. It allowed me to get out there and really share my voice. But I didn't have anything in the catalog to follow up with. And I didn't know like that kind of the window of momentum that you need to keep churning out and keep the relevancy. And I was just unprepared as a new artist with a team from different places and trying to figure it out in the process. It was just an unprepared moment that allowed me to be prepared much better today. So at least there's a learning experience.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and talk to us a little bit about like the inspiration for you, right? So most artists have like either artists that inspire them or concepts or types of genres that inspire them. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so messages I think are the most inspiring to me. I'm going to stay presently, like right now, the message that I needed for myself, especially with the pandemic, but everything else that's happening in the world and in the US, is I needed a reminder of our strength, of our self-worth, of our togetherness and our resilience. And especially as a woman, I needed that as well as a reminder of like our shared sisterhood and encouragement to like, despite all these other things that people want you to become or do, let's just like stick to that natural, like just like stick to what you're doing, like be that person that you are and don't get caught up in the mix and the mess of everything else. So that's been a really big message that's driven a lot of my music recently. So I guess it's life driven and kind of those narratives and messages that are most impactful for the moment and the time. But also music is an inspiration. Like if I start playing something on the guitar that drives a certain kind of emotion, or I'm working with a producer and I feel something in that music, that's another way. But right now it's really, really, I'm really big on empowerment.
Nice.
So do you see any artists now that you are listening to? What's on your Spotify or title playlist?
All over the place. I also hate this question because it's hard as a musician and a songwriter. I'm like a sponge. So sometimes it's hard to listen to things and then a few weeks later be like, was that my idea or was that thing I listened to recently? It's a little challenging, but I love her. I think I love like her music, her journey, her story. Andra Day, like amazing. I'm also kind of going back, like the Beatles. I love the Beatles. So it's really all over the map, but I'm not listening to anything right now because I'm in the thick of songwriting sessions and I just need to make sure I'm not like confusing the brain.
So and that was a great segue for my next question because I wanted to know about your writing process. What's that like?
So it's been liberating because now everything is virtual. So that said, previously I used to, pick up my guitar and do some songwriting, but over the last year, I've been doing a lot of collaborative songwriting, a lot of co-writing with other musicians that has really taught me a lot about pulling out the best part of yourselves and like, how it makes something even bigger than yourself. And you have a team that's really has a buy-in and like a shared goal of purpose of a song. So I've been working virtually with songwriters across the US, creating music for film and TV, but also for our various artist projects. And it's been really cool because it's even people that I've never met before, you know, we'll go on Zoom and suddenly we're together making a song. And it's just like a really incredible way of like getting to know someone and this shared moment that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So yeah, that's the process at the moment.
Okay. And then also like in terms of, I guess, your songwriting, your performing, how what I'm trying to say, like how in terms of your growing up in the community, how has that helped, inspired, catapulted you forward in any way?
Yep. So I mentioned earlier, like how instrumental community was and is when I was trying to gain my confidence as a Muslim American musician and making sense of that and knowing that like there was a backing and there was a space for that to occur, that I just needed to do the work, do the work to make it sustainable. So community, the Muslim community has been a huge part of that, but also kind of like the other way around, it's really important for me as a musician with any platform that I am given to highlight and represent the Muslim community and also try to like change the narrative of what pop culture makes us think of Muslims, or, what one kind of Muslim might be or look like or say. And so like most recently, so I released a song called Born to Be a Fighter, that we can talk more about, but I released a lyric video for Women's History Month. And when I set out to do that lyric video, it was very clear to me that I wanted to highlight trailblazing women, from various backgrounds, industries throughout time. But more so, I wanted to highlight a diversity of representation of Muslim women. So I spent a lot of time making sure that I featured different kinds of Muslim women and the different kinds of work that we do. So I have Sister Clara Muhammad featured, and the teachers and students in the Clara Muhammad schools. I also have the Olympic fencer Ibtihaj Muhammad and Congressional Representative Ilan Omar. And then I have Malala, who's done a lot of work in increasing education for girls and Muslim girls. And Linda Sarsour, who did the Women's March. The list goes on, but essentially, like, I wanted a beautiful array of Muslim women so that, this kind of like to break that stereotype of what a Muslim woman is and what a Muslim in America looks like. And alhamdulillah, the video is at like 13,000 views. So inshallah, that's like every person kind of gets this breath of fresh air of, our shared narrative as women. There's a lot of us, there's a lot of different Muslims culturally in America, and it's important to highlight all of them. So, yeah.
Alhamdulillah, that's a perfect segue into we're going to debut the Born to Be a Fighter here, here right now.
Awesome.
We're going to play it for the audience. It is streaming on all platforms. It's on YouTube, as the guys mentioned. So please go run it. After this, go run it up and share it and share it. Please, Naimah, introduce the song, which I think you've already done, but introduce it again before.
Yeah.
And how you want to introduce it, and then we'll play it.
Awesome. So the song is called Born to Be a Fighter. The writing and production and recording was all done at home and virtually with two other women, Abby Posner and Amy Feliz. The song, when I released it, was during Black History Month, and I highlighted Black women in history. And then for Women's History Month, I worked on this lyric video with my husband, and it means a lot to me. I'm really proud of it. It is a service that I hope the community will use and we will continue to use and educate ourselves. So Born to Be a Fighter.
Alhamdulillah. So we'll play it and we'll be right back.
Another moonless sky, I rise before the light, chase down a better life, I claim the power, block out the words of doubt, keep them from getting loud, dare you to stop me now, I claim the power, watch me break through every wall, see it crumble down, you won't ever see me fall, no, 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 no. I'm born to be a fighter, lift my head up higher, forge inside the fire, I am a warrior, oh, born to be a fighter, oh, born to be a fighter, oh, born to be a fighter, oh, born to be a fighter. No target is too far, I'm aiming for the mark, been reaching from the start, I'll be victorious. Bring on the sticks and stones, I've learned to take control, you'll never break my soul, I'll be victorious. Watch me break through every wall, see it crumble down, you won't ever see me fall, no, 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 no. I'm born to be a fighter, lift my head up higher, forge inside the fire, I am a warrior, I'm born to be a fighter, I'm born to be a fighter, I'm born to be a fighter, watch me break through every wall, see it crumble down, you will never see me fall, no, 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 no.
Yay! I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I feel like that song should be like on a soundtrack or something. Like I feel like it was go with like a movie. I don't know
Movie
which
score.
movie, but
That's the
I
goal.
feel like that's like a sex song too.
Yeah. I mean that.
Yeah, because it's so universal. It's definitely very universal.
Yeah, and that's the vision, like a message that's universal. I would love it in a big campaign. Like I'm trying to see if I get it in the Summer Olympics. Like, is that possible? Let's see what we can do, no?
Right. No,
Yeah.
but it definitely is that type of song where like you said, the Olympics, I'm saying a soundtrack, but like to something you even mentioned like a campaign, like it's definitely that kind of song. So if that's what you were going for, you achieved it, my sister.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. And what I love about that video is that it's just like so many different kinds of women and so many different types of industries, and even seeing our own community in that. It's just like, I mean, inshallah, I did service of just sharing how like there's so many involved in this message and in this journey, and that every woman has a space in that. But I'm really excited about the song and the project.
Yay.
We have people who, just to share, we want to back from the folks who are tuned in. This is Assalamu alaikum. This is Sister Zarina from San Antonio, Texas, and she loves the song because of the beautiful voice, a wonderful interview, such a light, such a breath of fresh air. Yes, yes, yes. Hearts of love. Sister Sultana said amazing voice, professionally done. Sister Patty says amazing. And even Sister Patty said, my sister, you're very beautiful. You achieved that 1,000-fold. It's amazing. I mean, the comments are coming in.
Yeah, you got all types of support in these comments, sis.
Sister Zakia said, we're super proud of you. We make tons of du'as for you and your continued success. Sister Nadine Cooper says, we love you, Naimah. Awesome music. So, Sister Tahira Sharif says, Assalamu alaikum, my beautiful sister. Congrats on this journey. So the comments, sister, it's there for you, man. The support is there.
If I can make music that touches everyone that listens to it, like that's what I want to do at the end of the day, you know? So that's the journey that I'm trying to be on.
Right.
Yeah.
We have somebody else on the screen with us.
Yes.
Yeah, the music brought me in the studio, man. I was riding down the street.
Beloved,
Welcome. I'm glad to welcome you also to the platform. The question I had was what you just actually was addressing. Like, so what is your mission, right? You just talked about a little bit about, having the impact of people to love the music and know their purpose, I guess, but also, like you said, the bigger scheme or the bigger plan.
Yeah. I want to have music that's around longer than I am. I want to have something that's a timestamp and that's relevant and that's useful. Like, I want someone to listen to this song and know, like, I'm strong. Like, I needed this motivation. I needed this reminder, and I can go about my day now with my head a little bit higher because I heard this. So I just want big, impactful songs. And I also want to change the narrative for other Muslim women that might want to enter the arts, whether it's music or poetry, whatever it might be, to have, inshallah, a role model like me or someone else, or just be able to identify with someone that they know, okay, this is possible. I do have the support and backing of the community, and I believe in myself to embark on this journey. That's something that I was reminded of and supported to do, and I hope to give back in that space to do it as well.
And so as I reflect on the music that we just heard, and I'm, I'm looking at you, I'm listening to you, and I'm wondering, like, what type of I guess space spiritually, emotionally you have to be in for something like that to come through you, right? Because that's coming through you, and that doesn't come through everyone, right? So what's the prep work, I guess?
Yeah, and this was a hard one. Like, this, let's take a step back and just kind of let me acknowledge the fact that before Born to Be a Fighter, the type of music I was doing was, pop or electro or something a bit more singer-songwriter. So, a more like scaled back emotion. I moved to where I am currently in Los Angeles and had space. And I guess in that space of the ability to just reconnect with my voice, reconnect to, like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my time? Am I being useful? Am I serving the community? Like, what's going on? Am I making music that's like too small, too personal? What can I be doing more of? And this concept of Born to Be a Fighter and having something that was like about resilience and strength, and then taking it on as an artist myself, I was like, oh my God, can I even get those booming vocals? Can I do that myself? Like, can I be born to be a fighter? Can I fight through this process of creating this song? And it took me so many different recording sessions in my home to really get that message and deliver it with the conviction that it needed. But I stuck to that goal of making it happen and making that translate, that this song forced out of me something I didn't even know was in myself. So I don't know how to say besides, like, thank Allah. Like, there's so much more for us to tap into, and it's really having the opportunities to do so, that if you trust yourself and trust the process to embark on it, despite the challenges, despite how, like, unsure you might be, like, it's in there to come out and to manifest in one way or another. And because of this song, Born to Be a Fighter, like, it's just put me in a whole nother space mentally, but also, like, vocally, spiritually, just to know, like, my own strength and power at the end of the day, I guess, to be stronger as a person, as an artist, as a messenger of, like, music and of narratives, and do a better job of just really having that strength. Yeah.
And that takes time, I imagine, right? Because one of our brothers who came on, Kashabi, New African Records, he's also out in your area. He talked about his album he just debuted for 7 years, right? And so, like, how do you stick with it long enough for it to come out of you?
Yeah. So I remember being fresh out of college, excited because of the Wolf and Die billboard thing, being like, oh, it's going to happen. It's so easy. And getting a quick reminder from BMI, who's one of the writer representation organizations. There's 3 of them. He sat me in the room, as he's the president then, and he sat me down saying, it's not easy. It's not going to happen easy. And it's not just going to be handed to you because someone brings you in the door. You know, you have to work at it, and you have to work at every single day. And just when you think you've done enough, like there's more to do, you know, there's more to tap into, there's more to self-reflect, there's more to like keep pushing that barrier that I feel like we might set for ourselves of saying, this is what I do. This is as much as I can do. And sometimes saying, can I push it a little bit forward? Can I, like, for me, it was like, can my voice crack a few times? Can I feel uncomfortable so I can know what that next threshold is? And then being okay with that process to happen. So yeah, it's really perseverance. It's the trust in Allah. It's tapping into all the signs around you to know, as you see the work you do and you see the doors that continue to open and the signs in front of you that remind you, like, this is right, this feels natural. Making sure to just stay on that track and trusting that process, no matter how much time it might take to do so. Yeah.
Excellent.
And I want to add that, like, about Born to Be a Fighter. So I had never recorded myself. I had never recorded at home. I had no recording equipment or setup at the time, but I was put on as the artist for that song, expecting to only be the writer. And I said, okay, sure, I can do that. And quickly figured it out, made it work, trusted those around me to help me learn more about how to record at home. And this is what we got. And so it's really about trusting the uncomfortable, but knowing yourself and what you're capable of to just let it be.
Yeah, I think that's an important point that you bring up about being uncomfortable. And you know, with anything, you know, any art, you know, that creates whatever your art is, you know, there is that process of vulnerability, which we talked about. Talked about also the process of adjusting, you know, and being adjustable, or just being somewhat flexible, you know, given the circumstance. A lot of artists throughout the different genres had to readjust because of the pandemic, because of the situation. We can't get to the studio, but we can still send beats to each other. We can still hook up the guitar to something, make something, and then send it to someone else. They edit it, so it's still they still get things done. And still people are still making their projects throughout this time. So I would just like to commend you again for being who you are, coming on this platform and sharing your experience with us. We definitely appreciate it, and just being who you are, being vulnerable. You're being vulnerable with us, which we very appreciate in our audience. It's not easy. It's not easy to come on and share. And you know, what would be some of your advice would you give to other artists, and not just recording artists, but just artists in general, creatives in general, about sharing their art and getting outside their comfort zone and how to approach vulnerability?
Yeah. So a few things. I think it starts with a network and having some kind of network of feedback, just kind of some kind of checkpoint to know, you know, how things are resonating, whether that's with friends or family, or you have a mentor, or if you want to send it to me, I'll open that door, whatever it might be, just someone that you can connect with in that feedback process, because you'll learn, you know, where you start is not where you're going to go, you know, but you have to have, it's helpful to have someone to help you along that way of pushing you if there's certain things you might not be tapping into that the other person does see you have the capacity to do. It's you need that push, you need that motivation, and sometimes you need the wake-up call that, you know, it's maybe not quite there yet, but it can be. So having that feedback community and network, and then also just really making sure that you're putting in the time with what you do. Sometimes the arts are a creative process, and sometimes it is instantaneous and you can really feel it in the moment, but sometimes it's better to like feel it in that moment, walk away, and maybe come back and see, is this the best work? Is this my best delivery? Is this what is this what I want to put out there, or can I be doing that better? Have I captured like the message of what I want to say, but maybe I could deliver it better? I think that's helpful too, and that's something that I had to learn, because I just wanted to put things out there and say, it's art. Art is art, but art's also a business at the end of the day, and so you have to keep that in mind too. To protect your brand, protect your value, and to really make sure you're putting your best foot forward.
And then talk a little bit too, I guess, about how important it is to, I guess, have the humility to hear the no, and to hear you got to go back and try that again.
Yeah. And I don't even know how to like provide. I'll just speak for myself, and that I guess maybe I'm old enough to know the results of letting that happen and saying, okay, they were right. It was not there. I was not what I thought that was, But because it's art, there's always a form of ego that might get mixed into the middle of it. But if you can trust those around you, that you do trust their ear or their opinions, and know that at the end of the day, folks want the best for you and they want the best you to be what you deliver, I think that's important to keep in mind, that it's not personal attack. It's just really the push that you need to do better and be better. And that's not to say it's going to be like easy, like you're suddenly going to be okay with that just because I said it, but it's important. It's really important to keep in mind. And that's been what's helped me now realize that and be okay if it's like, no, like the Born to Be a Fighter, I was like, no, that this vocal isn't quite there. No, it's a little too soft, too sweet. You're not like doing it right. I'm like, okay, well, let me try again. But that's okay. It's okay to try again. It's okay to not to get it right, because you can get it. It just takes some time sometimes. Yeah. Or maybe even it helps guide you to what your natural path might be. So you never know. Just be open to all directions.
Yeah. So what can we look forward to seeing from you in the foreseeable future, in the coming months, perhaps the coming year?
Yeah. So as I mentioned,
it's a new year. So can we see some new Naimah?
Yes, because like I said, in 2013, I was unprepared. 2020, we are prepared. I have music in the pipeline. I am excited for the content I have to share. I want to build off of the momentum of Born to Be a Fighter. So I do have new music, inshallah, that I am releasing this year. I'm excited for. I'm gearing up for a performance as part of the Congress's National Iftar next month, April 22nd. Looking forward to that. There we go. Exclusive acoustic performance of Born to Be a Fighter. But that's an honor, and I'm looking forward to that.
And the hat is fire.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think it's my mom, so a lot of my cool stuff.
The picture of the hat is fire.
The filter, we see the style. We see the style.
Yeah,
love
it's all
that.
her. But yeah, so new music, lots of new music. Inshallah, Born to Be a Fighter will get out in one of those big campaigns. That's the goal. And from there, just continuing the virtual conversations and co-writing sessions and getting back on the map. Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, I think it's just beautiful to know, meet other creatives, meet other artists, and that's what our platform is about. So we fully support you. This platform is for you. Anytime new music, anything new happening with Naimah, we want to know. We're going to be stalking you, sharing your stuff. Good stalking. Okay.
Bilal is absolutely going to be stalking. When the new music coming out, he's trying to get you on the show. Do not premiere that without us.
We want exclusives, and this is something that we want to share. There's a lot of artists have graced our platform, and we have a lot of female vocalists in our community. A lot of female vocalists in our community. And we would love, we would love if we may, be that bridge to perhaps do a joint project together with some of the vocalists that we have. If that was be of interest, we would love to make that happen, to help facilitate that, because I think it's something that is needed. It tends to be this competition. A healthy competition is fine, but there's another form of competition which we don't like, is when sisters and this artists in general take each other down and start, this nonsense, man. We cut it out.
Yep.
With one community, one jamaat, what I'm saying, and let's all embrace each other's talents and skills together, and we can do things together. So, inshallah, if you're open to it, we would love to facilitate some dialogue with some other artists, female vocalists in the community that we can work together to do something, a collaborative project. It don't have to be a whole album, whole project. I mean, mashallah, it is. One song. It's always one hit. It's one hit. They got to go on tour.
I mean, we do.
One
we do
hit. I
wanna
love
kinda
it.
mix
We're
it.
making a hit.
On the door, that's the gateway, man. The gateway to tour money. I mean, the tour money is where it's at. So I'm saying, that's where most artists get their money. And speaking of that, after COVID, or have you had experience going on tour before? Have you been to other countries with your music, or would you want to go to other countries with your music as well?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I want to go to other countries with my music, but I have traveled, or I have gone to other countries in the form of like a representative and a spokesperson. I've been on a lot of different panels and conversations about, peace, about inclusiveness, about interfaith. When I was younger, if I wasn't a songwriter, I wanted to be an ambassador. And so I think as an artist, I can do a little bit of both, So I have gone out of the country and been a part of those conversations. And it's kind of just going a little bit back to my history. I had a trip to Sudan when I was in, must have been high school or middle school. And I remember being in the community, the village there, and we were around in a circle and they were playing music. And I did not know what people were singing. I could not tell you, but there was such a shared feeling and momentum in that circle. And that was one of those pivotal moments of like, music is going to be my way of communicating across the world. I'm going to connect to people through music because this is a shared language. So music has been so important to me regarding having an international reach and appeal. And I would love to travel internationally one day with my music.
Oh, before we let you go, I have to ask about the Environmental Film Festival and your role with the Environmental Film Festival, because that's something I study. That's my level of expertise. So just curious, how did Naimah all of a sudden just pop up at the Environmental Film Festival? How did that work?
So, and I'm now a part of that advisory board. So I've updated I need to update the bio. But so environmental issues have been important to me, but film has also been important as just like a form of messaging and capturing that information. But I started as an intern with the Environmental Film Festival, helping them find films, curate programming when I was in high school. And I have maintained this relationship with them through time as an ally, but also as a collaborator for the festival itself. And though I haven't worked with them as, an intern or professionally for several years, they did reach out wanting a young voice on the board to help the festival kind of expand its reach, but, get younger audiences interested in environmental issues, environmental justice, climate change impact. And I'm excited to now be a new part of that board and helping get the information out in broader communities and underserved communities, expand who they market to and what the face of, someone who's interested in environmental issues might look like, change all of that narrative. And I'm excited to be a part of the festival in that capacity now. And it's very full circle to go from intern to advisory board member, alhamdulillah, but I'm excited.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, you're with the big wigs. So big guys to make the decision, So, definitely for sure. So Marsha, you want to say something?
I just love this. I love your spirit. I love, you're just so relatable. You're so peaceful. You're so positive. Like, I love that. And I was thinking as you were talking, I forgot the question, Bilal, I was asking you, or the question you were responding to. But when you were talking, what I was thinking about was, it's so good when Bilal was talking about the various different artists that we have in our community, and it's just so good to know, because for me, like, I didn't grow up Muslim, right? So when I became Muslim, I didn't really have the connection to artists, to any of that. It was just kind of like, like, I imagine that if my gift was music, that I would be like, well, who else out here is doing that? And so to be able to know that you do what you do, and for my daughters to be able to see that and have someone to look at as an example, I think is just great. So again, congratulations with everything you're doing, and it's just amazing.
And I really, really, really appreciate that. And it means a lot to me. I have younger sisters, so it's always been important to me to remind them to not, to just remind that there's a space for them, and there's a space for the lifestyle that we choose and that I have, and that it's okay, and that we can carve out. Sometimes you have to carve out that space for yourself, but someone's got to do it, So I appreciate you saying that.
Alhamdulillah. So we have coming to our end. I hate to say the end, because it's not, the relationship that we have is not ending. With Naimah, between Naimah and New Freedom Exchange, the relationship is not ending. It's just beginning. So again, we thank you. We appreciate you stopping by and being, again, vulnerable, being peaceful, bringing peace to our space. We always appreciate that. We were very mellow as well. Very mellow, very chill. You have a beautiful smile, so we definitely appreciate embracing our international audience, our people here. But before we let you go, we're going to run through some quick announcements, and then we would like you to introduce. We have a surprise for the audience who have not heard Naimah's first single. We have it loaded up in the queue. We dug it up from the crates. We want her to introduce it before we go. So let's get announcements out the way quickly, just to remind everyone. So National Iftar is free. I had the pleasure of seeing it last year. It was very nice. Naimah will be performing an acoustic version of Born to Be a Fighter here live with our brothers and sisters, international states, everywhere. So please, it's free. Get your tickets. Go to nationaliftar.org right now and register. So good. Also, Sister Naimah will be featured tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, My Music Matters artist chat with Sister Lydia Caesar and Naimah. That will be live on facebook.com/the THENMAAM live. Okay?
Can I make a quick shout out that this is a new museum that just opened up in Nashville, the National Museum of African American Music. Please go check them out, because it's a beautiful initiative, and they just opened up in January.
Oh, nice. We got to put that down on our list to go see. Definitely, for sure. Definitely want to check that out. So definitely congratulations for being part of this interview, inaugural debut of the museum. So shout out to the National Museum of African American Music. That is in Nashville, Tennessee. So please go check that out. Some quick other pre-Ramadan things coming out. We have the pre-Ramadan Iftar pop-up that's happening in the beautiful city of Union, New Jersey. We will be there live streaming, doing some live interviews, hosted by Imam Yasin Shabazz out of Newark, Marsha Muhammad Newark. And guest speaker will be Imam/Councilman Michael Brent on preparing for Ramadan. It's an indoor and outdoor event, April 4th from 2 to 5. So stop by. Vendor tables are sold out. You cannot vend, so don't inbox me saying, can I please vend? There is no vending. Vending is sold out. Our very own Sister Marsha will be vending her debut. She's shy. Sister Naimah, don't Sister Marsha fool you. She was shy to break into this space with us. So y'all both are two peas in a pod with that.
I be faking, B. I be faking. I'm really not that shy.
Yeah.
So join us Sunday with our brothers and sisters. If you're non-Muslim, please come too. non-Muslims are strongly invited to come. Shout out to Sister Layla Little from Jump Kids. She has internationally known. She was here before on our show, internationally Double Dutch Queen, the Queen of Double Dutch. So please check her out as well. Her not-for-profit does amazing work. We have our virtual Ramadan conference for Marsha Deen Muhammad in Houston, Texas, April 16th to the 18th. That'll be live streamed on Facebook and YouTube. Faith and Adversity. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful event. We share that as well. What else? One more thing. The Ramadan prep for the sisters. This is from Ahad. Cultivating a rich environment for you and your family. Topics include fueling ourselves physically and spiritually for the sisters. Ramadan with your little ones. If you have little ones, you know that can be a challenge with the little ones. Ramadan with the teens. Some of us have teens. You know that could be difficult. Joy in our homes. How to establish joy in your homes, I should say. Seasons in life, and also creating and preserving tradition. We have some usual faces on there. I don't know all the faces. I know Sister Ndidi from Chicago is on there. I know Sheikh Ustada Aisha Prime is on there as well, and quite a few others. Oh, Madam Quran Shakir from Atlanta was also on there, and quite a few other beautiful sisters as well. Lastly, but certainly not least, we have Study Al-Islam. Of course, a beautiful family, Study Al-Islam, Sister Naimah, shout out to Sister Fitra Muhammad. We will be streaming all of these sessions, simulcasting all these sessions onto our platform. Study Al-Islam Ramadan sessions will be happening at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. We moved it up. They moved it up to accommodate everyone's schedule on the West Coast, and also for those who want to read their juz or the 30th of Quran after Fajr. Now you can, and you can also tune into the scholars that we have booked already. And this is a beautiful schedule. We'll share it again on our Facebook pages and etc. So please tune in. If you're not Muslim, this will be a perfect time as well to learn for some of the scholars that we have in our community a little bit about Al-Islam and specifically Ramadan, the importance of Ramadan to the Muslims as well. So I'm done. So also tune into MuslimJournal.net. Our lovely Sister Dana, thank you for the reminder. We must support our institutions that still exist. So please, the Muslim Journal will be simulcasting also to their website a lot of the sessions that will happen during the month of Ramadan. Also, please take out a subscription if you can, a digital subscription, and also a print subscription as well. Would be very grateful for them to keep us going and keep our paper, our institution cultivated. And so that's all my announcements. Marsha, do you have anything, Brother Deen, before we get to the introduction to the hit single?
It was a great interview. I thank you so much for sharing your song with us. I am speaking into existence that it's going to be like a soundtrack, a campaign, Olympics, or whatever you want it to be. I'm speaking that for you. So thank you for sharing it with us today.
Yes, for sure. We appreciate it. And don't forget, this is your home. This is your place. New Freedom Exchange is your home. The Mikasa Sukasa. We invite you back. Any new music and exclusives, we want to have it all. In a sense, we want all Naimah and to promote Naimah as much as we can, because your win is our win as a community.
Yes, exactly. I was just about to say yes.
Your win.
Yeah, that's my thing. My thing is you're winning the war, right? And war stands for me is wealthy and wise, right? That's the W, and then that's the A, and then the R is righteous and rich, right? So as you continue to grow and become successful, keep that spirit you have, that positivity, that all that insight that you have. Because people say at the top it gets a little cold, but may Allah give you the warmth for you to continue to grow.
I mean.
And now, if I can just thank you all before Imam Bilal, you're making me play this song. We'll talk about that offline. No, but if I can just thank you all. Thank you, New Freedom Exchange, for having me, but also for creating this space for us to have these conversations, highlight members of the community, and just have a dialogue. And I just thank you for taking the time to talk with me this evening and for hosting this and putting this together. Thank you.
We appreciate you, sister. Now, introduction.
Sure. Wolf and I from 2013. We're going back in time, straight out of college, because everyone starts somewhere. This was the song I wrote. I used to take a lot of trips from New York to DC at the time, right after college, because New York is where I was recording. I wrote this one actually on the bus going from New York back to DC. It's the first single that I ever released. I did it with a team I still love to this day in Maryland, and they do a lot of great things. They were a really big part of my journey. And it's called Wolf and Die, and I'm not going to say any more than that. But just to say, after you listen to this one, go back to Born to Be a Fighter.
Yep. Yes. So until next time, we appreciate everyone who's tuned in. Who has tuned in to show love. Again, subscribe to our channel, New Freedom Exchange, like our page on Facebook, New Freedom Exchange. And until next time, peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Thank you.
Peace.
I don't wanna give you up when the sun goes down. I could be your moonlight, no one is around. Deep eyes, fluorescent smile. I think I can stay a while, 'cause I don't wanna give you up when the sun goes down. How could I leave? How could I hide? Guided by feeling, my wolf and I. How could I fear there by his side? Wolf and I. Tonight, I'll be alright. I'll be with the rising tide. Tonight, I don't need time. Love is mine, wolf and I. Tonight, I'll be his guide. This is my paradise. Tonight, I'll be alright. Love is my wolf and I. I don't wanna give you up as the sun goes down. I see our future, there's no turning now. Inside my heart it talks, says you've reached the deepest part. And I don't wanna give you up as the sun goes down. How could I live? How could I hide? Guarded by feeling, my wolf and I. How could I fear there by his side? Wolf and I. Tonight, I'll be alright. I'll be with the rising tide. Tonight, I don't need time. Love is my wolf and I. Tonight, I'll be his guide. This is my paradise. Tonight, I'll be alright. Love is my wolf and I. And safe I'll be when he's with me. Though others feel his company. 'Cause when the moon is high, he changes with the night. But I don't mind. No, I don't mind. No, I don't mind. Tonight, I'll be alright. I'll be with the rising tide. Tonight, I don't need time. Love is mine, wolf and I. Tonight, I'll be his guide. This is my paradise. Tonight, I'll be alright. Love is my wolf and I. Wolf and I. And I don't wanna give you up. Another moonless sky, I rise before the light, chase down a better life, I claim the power, block out the words of doubt, keep them from getting loud, dare you to stop me now, I claim the power, watch me break through every wall, see it crumble down, you won't ever see me fall, no, 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 no. I'm born to be a fighter, lift my head up higher, forge inside the fire, I am a warrior, oh, born to be a fighter, oh, born to be a fighter, oh, born to be a fighter, oh, born to be a fighter. No target is too far, I'm aiming for the mark, been reaching from the start, I'll be victorious. Bring on the sticks and stones, I've learned to take control, you'll never break my soul, I'll be victorious. Watch me break through every wall, see it crumble down, you won't ever see me fall, no, 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 no. I'm born to be a fighter, lift my head up higher, forge inside the fire, I am a warrior, I'm born to be a fighter, I'm born to be a fighter, I'm born to be a fighter, watch me break through every wall, see it crumble down, you will never see me fall, no, 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 no.